Nagwani Thai Prabhu, we're on our way to Hungary. We'll be there for Radhastami. Should be in New Brajadan for the festival. Gora Graganya Gana Gocha Goloruharam Goranga Gudatama Gopyada Kolpa Briksham Gopala Gada Ratidam Yati Singha Gora Govinda Deshi Kavaram Satatam Namami Uttama Adama Kichuna Bachila Jachiya Dile Kakola Kahe Premananda Hemona Gauranga Hridoya Dariya Bola Bhaja Gauranga Kaha Gauranga Laha Gaurangera Namare Jai Jana Gauranga Bhaje Se Hoyamara Pranare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Yashaiva Padambuja Bhakti Labhya Prema-bhakti-candrika Parama Pumata Tasmai Jagan Mangala Mangalaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Madgavirapi Golam Srikriyat Kripaya Jadi Tadaiva Sambhaya Pidva Rishayustat Priya Janaha Shri Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Sasanatana Rupaka Gopala Raghunathapta Brajabala Vapahimam Vanchakalpatarubhishcha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Good evening, nice to see everybody. Nice to see Jagor, Shyamananda Prabhu, Gorni Tai, Nila Purushottam Prabhu. So, in this session, what I hope to accomplish, and we've got less than an hour right now, so we had to be a little quick today because I've got things to take care of before we leave tomorrow. We hope to just give a little more of an introduction to Prema-bhakti-candrika, something that we did some sessions ago in our mangalacarana classes, but I'm going to go ahead and do that again. And maybe we'll begin with the first verse also, and hopefully we can try to cover that verse. So Prema-bhakti-candrika is considered to be perhaps the most important work of all of Narottam Das Thakur's writings. Narottam Das Thakur, he wrote many things, all of which are very important. One of my friends was in Navadvip some years ago hearing some class from a local sadhu, and that sadhu in the assembly there, he told everyone that every day you should fall down on the ground and offer obeisances to Narottam Das Thakur and thank him for what he's given us. So this Prema-bhakti-candrika is also known sometimes as a Raganuga Gita, because it gives the essence of the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It literally means that Prema-bhakti-candrika, Candrika means the rays of the moonlight of Prema Bhakti, of loving ecstatic service to Krishna. And this Prema-bhakti-candrika, these rays they're so soothing They can cool the effects, the burning effects of the fire of material existence, and they enable the living entities in this world to drink the nectar, life-giving nectar of bhakti to Radha and Krishna. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said that this book should be read every day. Narottam Das Thakur is considered to be like the embodiment of love for Nityananda Prabhu. Sometimes he's said to be a manifestation of the love of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which means Nityananda Prabhu. And this Prema-bhakti-candrika, this moon of prema, was always present in the sky of his heart. And the moon, the rays of this moon from Narottam Das Thakur's heart spread all over this world, and they blessed everyone by delivering from the darkness of ignorance. So Narottam Das Thakur in Prema-bhakti-candrika, he's given full potent instructions about sadhana and bhajan. What is our goal of our sadhana? What is the process of our sadhana? What are the problems in our bhajan? What are recommendations in our bhajan? He's given so many wonderful instructions about how to perform that bhajan. And the rays of this moon, of this Prema-bhakti-candrika, they'll take away the darkness of heart of someone who's engaged very intensely in doing nam-bhajan. And they'll very quickly give it prem bhakti. Therefore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said we should read this book every day. And Gorkishodas Babaji, on one occasion, he was asked, how do you get Krishna prem? And Gorkishodas Babaji said, oh, that's very easy. You just take 10 paisa and you go to the market and you buy a copy of Prema-bhakti-candrika. And you regularly read that. So this Prema-bhakti-candrika is coming from the heart of Narottam Das Thakur. This is not a book just based on some intellectual understanding, but this is an outpouring of his heart. Just as we hear from Rupa Goswami about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Sri Chaitanya Mukod Girna Hare Krishna Tivarnaka Hamajayanti Jagat Premi Vijayanta Tadavaya. The Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave this Hare Krishna mantra to the entire world. But how did he give that mantra? Sri Chaitanya Mukha Udgirna. It came from his mouth like a volcano. It just exploded. It wasn't an intellectual adjustment, a decision that, oh, we should do like this or that. But it was just something that exploded from him. And so Narottam Das Thakur's writings on this level. His writings are something which is desired by the Lord himself, who is in the heart of Narottam Das Thakur and has inspired him in this way. So this is a very, very important book for us to read. Just as somebody who's walking in the dark and they can't find their way, they're lost, they want to go to their destination, and the moonlight may come down and illuminate their pathway. So also by the radiance of this book, Prema-bhakti-candrika, those living entities who are bewildered and who are blindly lost on the difficult road of material existence, they can be shown the true path of bhajan. So this name, Prema-bhakti-candrika, is very significant. And as we commented before, Narottam Das Thakur, he wrote in simple Bengali language, which we commented on this, I think, in our last session, but I'd like to just say another word or two about it. Sanskrit, of course, first of all, is the standard for sadhus and also to establish something in India. So why would someone write in Bengali? Well, they want to do that because they want to be able to spread these teachings to common people. So in that sense, Prema-bhakti-candrika is also the outpouring of the heart of Narottam Das Thakur. And we see that within his heart, he's not just trying to write something for scholars and sadhus like that, but he wants to give something to the whole world. So I would like to suggest we try to read Prema-bhakti-candrika as a regular sadhana every day. And you go through the book and read it again and again. And the more that we read Prema-bhakti-candrika, the more deeply we'll understand it. The deeper that we're doing nam-bhajan, the deeper we'll understand this book. So in the beginning, Prema-bhakti-candrika, Narottam Das Thakur begins with a mangalacarana. And as we were commenting before, there's three elements to a mangalacarana: Bhasta, Nirdesh, and Ashirbad. These are described by Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami in the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, that there's three types of mangalacarana: Bhasta, Nirdesh, and Ashirbad. Bhasta, Nirdesh, which means a description of the subject, Ashirbad, a blessing, and Namaskar, offering obeisances. So Narottam Das Thakur begins with offering obeisances, but also in that first verse he also packs in the subject matter, and he packs in a blessing also. So he gives a very famous verse, which all of us are familiar with, and something which we also spoke about in the classes on our Mangalacarana discussion. But I want to go over it again, and perhaps a little deeper, along with the commentary, the Sanskrit commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Narottam Das Thakur, he offers obeisances to Gurudev. He begins with Guru Maharaj. Ajnana timarandasya jnananjana shalakaya chaksha unmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. And Narottam Das Thakur, in this prayer, he's expressing his own humility. And that's an important thing. If we want the blessings of the Vaishnavas, especially if you want the blessings of higher Vaishnavas, sometimes I've seen devotees come to Sadhu Guru and try to impress them. Maharaj, I know Sanskrit. Maharaj, I'm very cultured, come from a very high-class family. Or Maharaj, I have lots of money, or I have a big education, or this or that. But we see Sanatana Goswami, when he came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, Ke Ami, I don't even know who I am. Everybody says I'm a very learned person, but I don't even know who I am, and therefore I'm coming to you. And when someone comes to us in that mood, our heart melts. I saw this in Fakir Mohan Prabhu. He would meet, sometimes even with children, and with children, with whoever he met, he always asked for their blessings, but he would do it with tears in his eyes and folded hands, and even with children, please bless me, please bless me. And it just melts your heart completely. And you don't feel like that person's a threat. You don't feel like that person is a dangerous person or anything. You just naturally want to hug that person. You want to protect them. You want to give whatever you can. That's wisdom, when we behave in that way. And foolishness is when we behave that we want to impress everybody with our knowledge, our position, our whatever. That's for very cheap people. I remember some years ago, Guru Maharaj had told me to marry. And I was living in India. And some devotees, some sannyasis, I could make a list, were telling me, you should take sannyas and you should preach. And I told them, I said, Maharaj, what's the benefit of that? Huh? I'm not qualified. And one person told me, he said, that's okay. There's so many who are not qualified. I said, well, then what's the need of me to do it? Better that we have one person who's honest. And I told him really from my heart that I would much prefer that people give me respect and appreciate me by what I say rather than the way I dress. Because we have a danda, we have some orange cloth, and then automatically people give respect to you. And I see, to be really frank with you, I'll say something a little unpalatable, but some of my godbrothers, some of my friends, they've gone this route of sannyas and that, and all glories. We don't know how Gurudev is guiding them in their hearts, and we should respect that. It's a useful thing for preaching and that, but I see sometimes that they just get surrounded by a bunch of useless people. I saw recently one of my godbrothers who went someplace, and when he arrived, they had a video online of the reception for him, and there's about 20 brahmacharis, and they're all dancing in a choreographed fashion, back and forth, just moving exactly together like this, and that was their reception for him. And it made me feel a little sad. Sometimes we've had a little bit of receptions like that too, honestly, when we go someplace. And Krishna Kun hates it. People want to throw flowers at you, whatever like that. It's nice that they have some sentiment like that. But I remember when I once took Satchidananda Maharaj to a temple where I know the devotees quite well. And we brought him there. It was the first time he'd ever been there. And they greeted him with Guru Puja, singing Sri Guru Charana Padma and insisting to bathe his feet. And I was a little shocked that they would do like that, because nobody there even knew him. Honestly speaking, I like Satchidananda Maharaj very much. But you don't know. Maybe if they got to meet him, they wouldn't like him. I don't know. But why are you doing all this worship with someone that you don't even know? It hurts my heart, because it means it's not really from the heart. It's just something because this person has some official position. And somebody else who may have a long beard and hasn't taken bath in a while and they have old clothes, we don't care for them, even though their name may be Gorkishore Das Babaji. We don't care for that person, right? But we care for someone who has this other position. So Narottam Das Thakur is teaching us how to approach Guru, and he's saying that Ajnanatimarandasya, that I'm born in the darkness of ignorance. So I'm coming to you and I'm praying the Gyananjana Shalakaya. Narottam Das Thakur, he feels himself to be an ordinary materialistic person who's bound up by Maya. And so he remembers the great mercy of his Gurudev and bows down to his feet with great devotion. So this obeisances, this is one type of mangalacarana, namaskar. And he's laying prostrate, offering his dandavat pranams at the lotus feet of his Gurudev, who's opened his eyes. I was once blind with the darkness of ignorance, and now with this stick, this Anjana Shalakaya, with this stick of knowledge, he's driving away that darkness of ignorance. So that darkness of ignorance, Vishwanath Chakravarti comments, it means the cheating propensity of the jiva. What is the cheating propensity? We speak about this quite often. Sometimes that we don't want cheating religion, dharma, that kaitava dharma. What is kaitava dharma? Kaitava dharma means that someone wants dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. How is that cheating? It's cheating because when you have a relationship of love with someone, it should be selfless. Not that you go to someone and you say, oh, I want to be your friend because you're the most popular person in the temple. Leela Purushottam Prabhu was so popular and so much respected, therefore I want to be his friend so everybody will appreciate me very much. Or maybe Tirthakar Prabhu, he's so wealthy, he has so much money, I want to go to him, maybe he'll give me some money or whatever. I'm not a very good judge of character sometimes, I don't know. But I think you are wealthy and you are popular in ways that you don't understand, you don't see. So that's cheating. If you go to someone with some desire for that, because this is a realm of bhakti. Whereas in the realm of mundane religion, and even many devotees who are practicing Vaidhi Bhakti, they're doing it so they get some piety. You know, I want to go to Mangalartik every day because, boy, you get so much benefit by that. I want to go to the Dham, you get so much benefit. And they're always talking, you get so much benefit from this. And benefit means benefit from me. But for the devotees, who cares? Gorkishore Das Babaji, once he was doing his bhajan in Navadvip, in Mayapur, and there's a group of people coming to hear from him regularly. And it was becoming a little annoying for him because they weren't very intimate. They were just wanting to hang out with Gorkishore because he was a famous person, whatever. So one day Gorkishore told him, he said, you know, tomorrow is a Rath Yatra festival in Navadvip, and you should all go. And they were all very excited. Oh, wow, Babaji Maharaj told me we should go to Rath Yatra. So they all went. And the next day came, and Gorkashwara's Babaji was by himself. One person showed up only. And Gorkashwara's Babaji started laughing. And he said, all those people who are just interested in pretty girls and getting some nice opulent prasadam and having some fun, they've gone to the Rath Yatra. But those persons who are serious about sadhu sangha, they stayed here. So I've seen this so much over the years in the Dham. Many devotees, they come and they're very, very eager. Oh, I have to go for this aspect of the festival. I have to go for darshan. And we should want darshan. But why do we want darshan? Because we want service. We want service to Gurudev. And that's far, far more valuable than just some darshan or something. My Guru Maharaj discouraged devotees from coming to Jagannath Puri and going to Rath Yatra. Rather, he instructed that we should attend the Rath Yatra festival in Bhubaneswar because it's service for Srila Prabhupada. And we distributed so many books and we helped spread Krishna consciousness. In other words, it wasn't just something that we attend so we can say, wow, I was there and it was so far out and this mystical thing happened and Jagannath winked at me. I could see it. Did you see? He winked at me and he looked right at me and this thing and that thing. Huh? It's not for our own pleasure. Huh? So Shri Gurudev, he has this stick of knowledge, a salakaya. A salakaya is an Ayurvedic instrument which cures the eye disease. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he's explained about this in his commentary on this verse in Prema-bhakti-candrika. And he says there, Koya umilita Gyananjana Shalakaya Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadhir Adhir Govinda Sarva Karna Karnam Ityanena Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam Ityanena Cha Krishna Bhagavata Gyanam Evanjana Salakaya Toya Krishna Bhagavata Gyana Samvidera Sar Iti Sri Chaitanya Charitam Rik Tokte. That Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining what is the meaning of that gyan, that gyananjana shalakaya, that anjana, which is put on by the salakaya, the stick, that's knowledge, but what kind of knowledge? And he quotes this verse, which you've heard before, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigrahanadi Adi Govinda Sarva Karna Karnam. That this is the gyan. This is the knowledge that Gurudev is giving. That Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's our ignorance. And when he speaks like this, it doesn't just mean some theoretical information idea that, oh yeah, Krishna's God. But it means, it indicates that we have some other God in front of us. In the West, that someone may have, or anywhere, they may have a young girl as their goddess that they worship. Or a young girl may have her boyfriend who they're worshiping. Or they may have mundane knowledge that they're worshiping, or a college professor, or a temple president, or this or that. But the person we should worship, the person whose everything, real knowledge means, to understand that we should surrender to Krishna. And this is how we worship and appreciate Gurudev. We worship Krishna, not just that we worship Guru, as we've often commented. So that knowledge is like this salve, this anjana, and it'll cure the eye disease, which is there in the form of ignorance. So in the Brahma Samhita, the very first verse describes Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Nadiradi Govinda Sarva Karna Karnam. That Krishna, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's a Satchidananda Vigraha. He's full of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Anadhir, he has no cause. Adhir, he's the cause of everything. He's Govinda and he's Sarva Karna Karnam. He's the cause of all causes. He has no beginning, rather he's the origin and cause of everything. So this is indicating, Narottam Das Thakur is indicating to us, is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that Gyananjana means understanding that Krishna is Bhagavan. And then he quotes another verse from Bhagavatam, Iti Chamsakala Pumsa, Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. Meaning that there's different aspects of the Lord, but amongst all those different aspects of the Lord, some of them are expansions of the Lord, but it's Krishna's Swayam Rup Govinda. The Bhagavatam describes in this language that Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. He's the origin of everything. So we should worship that Krishna. And this is Gyananjana. This is the salve that Gurudev is giving me. In other words, he's beginning Prema-bhakti-candrika by speaking about the gift of Gurudev. He's indicating to us that Prema-bhakti-candrika is going to be a book about Bhajan, about Krishna. And this is the meaning of Gyananjana Shalakaya. This Gyananjana Shalakaya, this is what's found in Prema-bhakti-candrika. We want to have the rays of the moon to light up our dark path. But if you're blind, it doesn't matter how bright the moon is, you can't see at all. So we have to get this vision from Gurudev. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Narottam Das Thakur is meaning like this, that this knowledge of Krishna's divinity, this is that stick, the Salakaya, which cures the eye disease of ignorance. Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita describes a similar thing. Krishna Bhagavata Gyan Samvitera Sai Brahma Gyana Daki Sabatar Parivar Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So when Narottam Das Thakur, he says that Gyananjana Shalakaya, he's offering obeisances to Gurudev. Agyana Tirandasha, Gyananjana Shalakaya. What is that Gyan that he's speaking about? This Gyan is spoken about by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in the Adi Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, where he describes that understanding that Krishna Bhagavata, Krishna's Bhagavan, that's real Gyan. And that Gyan, that Samvitera Sar, of the Samvit potency, this is the essence, the Sar of the Samvit potency. Prabhupada translates this verse, he says, the essence of the Samvit potency is knowledge that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. And then Kaviraj Goswami says that Brahma, Gyanadika Sabha Tar Paribar. All these other types of knowledge about Brahman, Paramatma, etc., all other types of knowledge, Sabha, all of them are all paribar, are all dependent on this one understanding that Krishna is tu Bhagavan Swayam, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is real Gyan. This is the Gyan that Gurudev is giving. I sometimes comment on something we've heard from Niranjan Maharaj. Actually, I mentioned this in his Vyas Puja program this last year. I like very much. I said that I've seen many times with Niranjan Maharaj that devotees come and they say, Maharaj, I have this problem, I have no money, my husband is a demon, my wife, she's cheating on me with 5 different men, my children, and we have this problem and that problem. Or the temple president they're complaining about, or whatever it is. And Niranjan Maharaj, so many times he gives the exact same answer. And he says, I only have one medicine. I only have one answer, which is Krishna Nam and Krishna Katha. This is the Gyananjana Shalakaya. This is the medicine of Sadhu Guru that they're giving us. And the essence of that is the understanding that Krishna is Bhagavan. So if someone's coming and they're saying so many things, and maybe they're saying some Vedic things, maybe they're saying some impressive things that are inspiring in some ways, and maybe they're talking about Varnashram Dharma, or they're talking about the role of women, they're talking about the role of men, they're talking about how we can be expert in taking care of cows or farming or doing this or that or the other. Those are all good things. But if there's no understanding about Krishna, then what is the value of it? Shama eva hi kevalam. If we don't develop some katav ruchi, then all this vanashram dharma and things that we're doing, it's just a waste of time. So we begin Prema-bhakti-candrika by offering obeisances to Gurudev, Agyanatimirandasya, acknowledging our fallen position, that I'm blind, I can't see, and that Gurudev, you've given me, we're appreciating what you've given me. And what is that gyan? Vishwanath explains that thing. Jnana means understanding Krishna. This is what Gurudev gives. So many people are giving so many things, even devotees sometimes speaking about how we can have better relationships and what is the phrase? Practice active listening and couple counseling and this and that. So, but this understanding Krishna's divinity, that's the essence of consciousness. That's the essence of knowledge. And all other knowledge of Brahman, etc., it's dependent on that. We should understand that Krishna is the eternal Lord. I'm his eternal servant. And this is indicated in this verse. Because Gurudev is Sambandha Datta. This verse also indicates Sambandha Gyan. It indicates three types of Gyan. There's Sambandha Gyan, knowledge of my relationship. And Gurudev, he is my Sambandha Gyan. He is my relationship. And he's evoking that by telling me you're a spirit soul. You're not this body. So as a result of that understanding, then some awareness comes that I should do seva, I should do bhajan for Krishna, and that's really my only duty. That understanding is another type of gyan. It's abhideya gyan. So Gyan Anjana Shalakaya indicates also three types of Gyan: Sambandha Gyan, Abhideya Gyan, and Prayojana Gyan. The Gyan, the knowledge of my relationship with Krishna, which is there through Gurudev. Abhideya Gyan, knowledge of how that relationship with Krishna can be expressed, how it can be evoked, how I can do my bhajan. And then the awareness comes to the living entity that love for Krishna is the only thing. And without that love, there's no service that I can perform to bring him any happiness. That's Prayojana Gyan. Now, a little comment about these three things, Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Sometimes devotees, they misunderstand and they think that these are stages of bhakti. But Sambandha is there also at the time of Prayojana. Sambandha is there in Abhideya. These three things are mixed throughout. But in this case, we're talking about something a little different. Now we're talking about Gyan. And three types of Gyan: Sambandha Gyan, Abhideya Gyan, and Prayojana Gyan. And those all do go in some sequence. In the beginning, I have some knowledge of my relationship. And then I become more purified and I want to understand how to express that relationship. That's Abhideya Gyan. And then when I come to understand that really love for Krishna is everything, that's Prayojana Gyan. These are three types of Gyan that Gurudev gives us. And Narottam Das Thakur is beginning Prema-bhakti-candrika, offering obeisances to Gurudev because he has this anjana, this salve with a stick of knowledge, this shalakaya, which cures our eye disease of ignorance, and it awakens our spiritual vision by instructing us in the truths of Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. So I'd like to read you a few things from Srila Prabhupada about this verse, very famous verse. Let me just see if I can pull this up on my computer. So I'll go ahead and read this out. This is from a lecture Srila Prabhupada gave in Mayapur on the 16th of April, 1975. Prabhupada says, we should not jump over Krishna without the help of Guru. In other words, not just that we just jump to Krishna without the help of Guru. He says, that's not possible. You must go through. Because Krishna says, Acharya mam vijani, tasmad gurum papadyate jignasa shreya uttama. That someone who is serious to understand higher transcendental knowledge, he must approach Guru. Tasmad gurum prapadyeta. Prabhupada says, these are Vedic injunction. Chakshudan diloje, janmi janmi Prabhu say, janmi janmi Pitta say. Pitta means father. So he said, Prabhupada says, so anyone who opens the eyes, that's Guru. Agana Timanandasha, Gyananjana Shalakaya. Opening the eyes by giving real knowledge. Guru Krishna Kripa Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. This Bhakti Lata Bij, Prabhupada says, a devotional service can be received through the Parampara system by the bona fide spiritual master. If we abide by the orders of Gurudev faithfully, then Krishna becomes pleased. That's the essence of knowledge. There's another occasion, a morning walk in Nairobi in 1975. Actually, Krishna Kunwa and I were in Nairobi just a few years ago, and we went to where Srila Prabhupada was going for some of his morning walks. Prabhupada, this morning walk in Nairobi, he was mentioning this verse, Agyana Timarandasya, Agyananjana Shalakaya, Chaksha Umilitam Nina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, which is from Gautamiya Tantra. Everyone's blind. And he probably says everyone's in darkness. They can't see anything. So someone who opens the eyes, Gyananjana Shalakaya, by the torch of knowledge, that person is Guru. Prabhupada said this is description of Guru. In other words, this is a definition of Guru. This is the idea of Guru, that he's Gyananjana Shalakaya. And he's going to give us something to open our eyes. Prabhupada says, if you're blind and you have a blind Guru, it's no use. Guru means one who's not blind. I may be blind, then that will be affected. This is no reason. I cannot see. What you see, you can see. You cannot even see the president. You want to see God without being qualified. This is a layman's rascal's reason. Someone is saying, someone is thinking like this. I can't see. I don't see. What are you? What can you see? Prabhupada says, first of all, you should evaluate what is your position, and you want to see something. So there's a formula. Premanjana charita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshi viloktayanti. Verse from Brahma Samhita, which describes about how by the anjana, the premanjana, or the salve of love of God, one can see Krishna. And Prabhupada explains that one who's developed love of God is always seeing God. So where is that qualification? He says, you're not a lover of God, you're a lover of dog. So how can you see God? You can see dog, that's all. Go on seeing dog perpetually. At the time of death, see the dog and become a dog. That's all. Prabhupada is speaking a little strongly there. And we should understand also, this is the nature of sadhus. Sadhus, we were just speaking about this with one friend of ours today. The sadhus are detached. They have something to give, but if you don't want it, then what can we do? You have to want that thing. That's the only price. We have to want a relationship with Guru. We have to want a relationship with sadhu. If someone doesn't want that relationship, then how can there be? And Krishna says at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, in the 18th chapter, he's spoken the whole Bhagavad Gita, greatest book, greatest teachings in the whole world. And then Krishna says, Idam te narapaskaya nabhakte kadachana chashashushave vachan machamam yogasuyati. And he says to Arjuna, now don't speak this book. Don't give this information away. First of all, to someone who doesn't have any tapasya, narapaskaya, who's not austere. What is our austerity? Our austerity is not necessarily that we fast on Ekadasi, or that we only sleep for 3 hours, or that we sleep on the floor. That's okay if those things are done for bhakti. Our austerity means that we're taking up austerities for the sake of bhakti. Our austerity means that we chant japa for the pleasure of Gurudev. That we put everything else aside and we sit down and we chant. That's our austerity. So if someone is not austere, they don't have that austerity, they can't give that thing, then don't speak this to them. Idam te narapaskaya, nabhaktaya. Someone who doesn't have any devotion. It means also to Guru, to sadhu. If someone has no devotion, no respect, that's fine. Sadhu's detached, that's okay, no problem. You have a good life, have a good day, nice to meet you. and they go their way. They're very, very detached. Nabhaktaya kadachana, kadachana. Don't speak to them. Nachasha shushave vacham nachamam yo abhisuyati. Someone who doesn't want to render service, because service is everything. It's not just that somebody wants to come for a good time, for a party. But then when somebody says, hey, can you wash the dishes after the program? Can you help clean the floor? Oh, I don't want to do that. Here in Puri, we have sometimes different devotees come and visit with us. Jaigor's been here, and Anapayani, and different devotees. And when we have friends here, I try to engage everybody in service, because that's my function. Gurudev wanted us to do that. But our engaging devotees in service doesn't mean that we're trying to do something so we can benefit off them, so we can take advantage of them. Sometimes we see that in temples, or saying, when somebody comes, oh, you're a wealthy person, very good, we'll do this, and people want to use them for this or that. But the real purport of service is, if everybody's engaged in some service from their heart, then it creates a community. It creates a very, very wonderful sangha where everyone is so happy and so blissful. So that service is such a very, very important thing. Nachasha shushave vacham. If they don't want to do that service, Krishna says, don't speak this Gita to them. And they should be anasuyave. They should not be envious. If they're envious, don't speak to them. And don't get all hung up about it. Don't get in a big fight on Facebook about it or something because somebody's envious. And that's just their nature. They have some disease. There's really no benefit in getting in an argument with a pit bull dog that has AIDS. You just bow your head and let him go the other way. Why waste our time? So this is the nature of Sadhu Guru. He wants to give mercy, but we should have a desire for it. And therefore we approach him and we say, Agyana Timarandasya, that I'm blind, I don't know anything, but I do know what I want from you. And I'm not coming to you for money. I'm not coming to you for a position in the institution. The only thing I'm coming to you is for this Gyananjana Shalakaya, this salve, which will give me some knowledge. And when he says salve, this Gyananjana Shalakaya, it means that it's not just a theoretical thing. It's not just informational content or entertainment. But actually, I'm going to be able to see. Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. I'll be able to see Krishna directly. This is the meaning of this Gyananjana. Krishna Kund. You're going to drop your computer. Be careful. So I want to stop there. I have a phone call in about 20 minutes, so we have a few minutes if devotees have any reflections or anything. Shyamananda Prabhu, do you want to share something? You have any reflections? Or can we see it?
Prabhuji,
Yeah, thank you.
thank you. Prabhuji, I feel I lack, like as you were speaking, relationship with Guru. So I mean, all I do, Prabhuji, is I hear his lectures, and I think that's all relationship I have, Prabhu. So please guide me. How can I go deeper? There is something in me that tells I need to go deeper in this, but I'm lacking, Prabhuji.
What is the function of Gurudev? What is the necessity of Gurudev? Gurudev is Sevaka Bhagavan. He's the supreme servitorship of Bhagavan, and his job is to accept our service. And we accept him as Krishna's representative. So that's our relationship with Gurudev. We want to serve him. And Narad Muni, he describes in the 7th canto of the Bhagavatam, Guru Sudara Sorida. We should have an attitude of firm friendship to Gurudev. But it depends on our consciousness. My Guru Maharaj said that as long as someone is anartha yukta vasta, they have anarthas in their heart, then their darshan of Gurudev is always going to be bhogya darshan. The Gurudev is there for me to enjoy. I have a famous guru, I have a big guru. You see, here's my badge and my bead bag. Here's my t-shirt with Gurudev's picture on it. And I'm advertising Gurudev. So that's the attitude of someone who has anarthas in their heart. They're trying to enjoy their guru. But someone who's anartha muktavasta, who is free more or less of anarthas. And anartha here means it's not the artha. The artha here means that we should understand what is Gurudev, what is the real thing that I want, what is my real benefit. But I have some other idea. My real benefit is something in connection with my body, some pleasure for my mind or whatever. So only someone who's anartha mukta vasta, who's free from those anarthas, more or less, that person has vision of Gurudev, sevaka darshan. He sees that Gurudev is meant to be served. And that's my position. So we cultivate that in a natural way. Sometimes I see devotees, they have a desire, they see people who are close to Guru, and I'd like to also be close like that. So maybe they go to Gurudev and they slap him on the back. Yo, Maharaj, how you doing? Or they want to say, Gurudev, give me a hug. They want to give Gurudev a hug. They want to artificially try to be intimate with them. And that's really very, very unpleasant and very, very foolish and very, very wrong. It's not that we go to give Gurudev a hug. If he wants to give us a hug, that's our great fortune. But we don't slap him on the back and treat him like a friend or something. Our friendship is a natural thing. We should come close to Gurudev. We should, Rupa Goswami describes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he says that our service to our Gurudev, what's the word he uses? He says that he uses a synonym for pranaya, that we should become one, Vishwambena Guru Seva, that we should become Vishwambena, or one with our Gurudev. How do we become one with our Gurudev? Vishwambena Guru Seva, through service. Because it's service that's close to Gurudev's heart. He's wanting to serve his Gurudev. So if we come to him, we say, Maharaj, I want to take part in your service to your Guru Maharaj. Then you'll get the blessings of that person. You'll become one in the heart with him. They'll become very, very pleased. But it's something which is natural. It's not something artificial. Is that okay?
Yes, okay, Prabhuji.
It's a nice question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me read out here. Natalia had something. I think she had to go. She said, I'm sorry, she's in a train and the internet sometimes appears and disappears. I have a question. How to connect real knowledge coming from Sadhu Guru? That Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, with stories, how he takes different forms for his devotees. It's like Jagannath appears sometimes as Ganesh. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke about how he came in different forms for different devotees. So this knowledge that's coming from Gurudev is not just some theoretical knowledge, but it's Anjana. This is Rajavidya. And Rajavidya, the topmost knowledge, is meant to be pratyaksha, pratyaksabagamam dharmyam. It's meant to be practically realized. This is something that we have to practice. This kind of gyan is not just a theoretical thing. So we connect with that knowledge, as we were just mentioning, by service to Gurudev. Vishrambena Guru Seva. We become one with Gurudev when we render service to him. I hope that helps. And Gauni Taiprabhu will give some question. He's still there. His connection, I think, is a little bad also. By the way, Gauni Tai, we're coming to Poland, but we'll just be there for 24 hours or less. Just a real quick visit, stopover on our way to Lithuania. My question, if you have time for it, what is the main difference, if any, between Prarthana and Prema-bhakti-candrika? Well, Prarthana is a series of prayers, different types of prayers. But Prema-bhakti-candrika is moon rays on the path of Prema Bhakti. And it's a japa handbook, as we were mentioning before. It's a handbook to guide us in our sadhana and our bhajan. Whereas Prarthana is a general different types of prayers. Both are very, very valuable. But Prema-bhakti-candrika is generally considered to be the most important book of Narottam Das Thakur. So I hope that helps some. And let's see, Tirthakar Prabhu, do you want to share anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I'm sorry I came late. I was wondering if you can maybe share a little light on the cheating mentality when it comes to Krishna or Guru, because kind of we are balancing somewhere in between, right? We want to have sincere relationship. At the same time, we have our attachments. So if you can maybe share some light on that.
Well, the first thing about cheating is that we should know that we're cheating. And so many people, they don't even know it. And they're just living in some blissful kind of idea. Sometimes people, they have a relationship with someone else. And they think, oh, my relationship's going so well. It's going very, very good. But the other person is suffering, or the other person is very unhappy with them, because you're maybe very dull. You don't understand it. You're not tuned in to their feelings, their desires. So that's a kind of cheating. We're not sensitive to the desires of Gurudev. We're not sensitive to the desires of Krishna. But in the beginning, our ignorance is so thick, it's so deep, that we can't even see that. So we have to render some service to Gurudev. And what's required then is ados shraddha. We have to have faith. We have to have some faith in Gurudev. If we don't have faith in Gurudev, we can't do anything. So we have to have some faith in his instructions. And I've seen my Guru Maharaj be very, very detached. People come to him and maybe they have money, or maybe they're offering sweet prayers, or this or that or the other. But if they don't really have faith in him, he wasn't interested at all. I have nothing for you. You go somewhere else. This is not the place for you. And as devotees, we should also be like that. We should have some dignity in our life. If somebody doesn't have faith in us, why should they have faith? It's no problem. I'm not angry about it. I'm not surprised. If somebody doesn't have faith in me, that means you have good intelligence. But it means that Krishna is trying to tell me that I should work a little harder and do something. I can't try to force myself off on someone else. And if they don't have faith, that's fine. That means I should do more bhajan, and Krishna doesn't want me to take that relationship role, that leadership role of that person at that time. Is that okay? Is that helpful?
Yeah, that clarifies, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Who else is there? Let's see. Jaigor, do you want to share anything today? Are you alive? Hare Krishna.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can we see you also?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're like underwater. It's real hard to hear you. It's not very easy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in the car. I had to let me take a bunch of stuff.
No problem. Anyway, it's
I'll
nice,
change
nice,
the room.
nice to see you here today, Prabhuji. Nice to see you here. I can't really understand what you're saying. You could type something in if you like. Or Leela Purushottamji, do you want to share anything?
Yeah, I'd like to ask one thing. Jai Guru.
Jaigor, we're not able to hear you, Prabhuji. Go ahead, Leela.
I'd like to ask the question because remember that few times we discussed with devotees regarding these three categories of knowledge, is Sambandha, Abhidaya, and Prayojan. That now we mentioned thing that it comes in sequence.
The Gyan comes in sequence.
Yes. But still, that's a point for me because I would have rather that understanding that you need, I would say, at least the basics or portions of all three right from the beginning. Like if I imagine, very often our spiritual life starts with the question, what's the goal of life? And then you should get the Prayojan Tattva Gyan answer. You should receive, okay, the goal of life is Prema Bhakti, is so in that sense, if you would be 20 years around and you wouldn't hear that the Prema is Prayojan and Bhakti is Abhideya, then it would you would have a mess of your practice, of your endeavors in for your spiritual progress.
Yeah, so there's a sequence. We have to have some knowledge about something, and our knowledge begins with the knowledge of our sambandha, that we're Krishna's servant and Krishna's there. And then after we begin to digest that knowledge, then naturally we want to know, well, what do I do with it? How do I develop that relationship? That's abhideya. And then I well, how can I develop love for him when we hear more about Krishna? That's prayojan. But these are gyan. This is not sambandha. We have that Gurudev is our sambandha datta, as I was mentioning. He gives our relationship. It means our relationship with Krishna. And we're just talking now about theoretical understanding, some knowledge about that, which is given by Gurudev.
Yeah, because it's again based on my traumas that when you face these phenomena that you don't discuss the say Lila Katha, you don't discuss about the pastimes of Krishna until you are such and such, pure devotee or whatever.
Until you can walk on water.
Yeah, something like that. but at the same time, we have so many pramans in Bhagavatam that these kathas will be the most like purifying agents for us to get a taste, ruchi, attraction for achieving that goal.
Yeah, and the first is sambandha. Because, who do I develop a relationship with? If it's a Christian concept of just some vague idea of, maybe God's a person, maybe he's not a person, who knows, that's not very attractive. But therefore Prabhupada wanted to give Krishna book to everyone, even people who can't walk on water. The book is meant to be for everybody. Everybody should read. Everybody should know something about Krishna, because by hearing about Krishna, then we'll understand something of my sambandha. And Prabhupada speaks so much about sambandha with Krishna in Krishna book, and how there's different rasas, and how the plants have a relationship, and the cowherd boys have a relationship. There's different types of relationships, because we need to know that. We need to know that I can have a relationship, and who am I going to have a relationship with? So that's sambandha again. And then abhideya, how can I develop that through doing nam-bhajan? And prayojan, what is that goal? That I want to develop Krishna praying. Okay?
Yeah.
Anybody else here in the room want to share anything? Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and stop.
I like your definition of
Krishna
Guru.
could speak real
I
loud.
like your definition of Guru, one who opens your eyes.
Guru is the one who opens your eyes.
And also why we want darshan, it's to have service.
Why we want darshan to have service.
These are my two techniques.
Yeah, or even, as we mentioned sometimes from previous sessions too, that darshan means service. The gopis want to see Krishna because they're seeing Krishna, that's Radha Kripa Kataksa Stava Raja, that merciful glance of Srimati Radharani. When she glances at Krishna, Krishna faints. That's an amazing service. That her glance has so much love, so much potency to it. And that's a service to Krishna. Just like girls like it generally, more or less in the material world, when boys look at them. Oh, did you see, they're looking at us. It depends on the boys and some things, but in general, ladies like it if men are looking at them, and therefore they dress in that way and things. So that propensity is there also in Krishna. Krishna gets pleasure when his devotees want to see him. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop there. And let's see, Leela Purushottam made some other comment. That was also my question. Why in the translations use the term torchlight if technically it's quite different? Yeah, the torchlight of knowledge, that's given a lot of times. A little funky. Sometimes, what can you say? I like to be tolerant with these things. With translations, I think they're pretty flexible. Different devotees are going to see different things in them. There's technically no real idea of a torchlight. Rather, it's the anjana shalaka. It's that stick which you put the salve of that knowledge on the eyes. But in one sense, that's kind of like a torchlight. That's how they're giving it. So sometimes people give translations. Srila Prabhupada often does, which are kind of like purport translations, or little bhavuk translations. But I think it's really, really important. We try to practice this thing. When we go through things, we should look at the original language and try to pick it apart and try to understand what Narottam Das Thakur was speaking about, what Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami is speaking about. And you can't really do that unless you look at their language. You know, for those of you who are bilingual or trilingual, you understand this principle quite well. The translations, they leave a lot to, be understood, and especially if you're a married person. You understand it even further yet. You can't understand. Your wife becomes upset because she doesn't understand you. The husband doesn't understand you. Okay, so I'm going to stop there and we're going to run. Thank you all very much. Shri Prema-bhakti-candrika ki, Srila Narottam Das Thakur ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.